handsome gents. How you doing? How you doing? Right down below. How you doing? I'm excited you're here because today I want to talk about something that I'm excited about and I like. Okay, the other day I was at Sephora and I was walking around, I was smelling everything, and you know, I love the Sephora fragrances. You know, I mean, of course, there are a lot there, but something really stuck out to me that doesn't usually. I got bored. I got bored at Sephora, and I thought, you know what? All this stuff, it all kind of smells the same. Now I know there's a lot of vanilla fragrances, and yes, every vanilla fragrance smells different. It absolutely does. But I think to most people who aren't like perfume researchers, kind of, as we guys are, they would just smell vanilla. They wouldn't really smell, oh yeah, this is this kind of vanilla, this is this kind of vanilla, this is this kind of vanilla, this is this kind of vanilla. I mean, it's all vanilla, even though I know it's different. And florals and chypres and all of that, it's just kind of, it's all really expensive, number one. Really a lot more expensive than fragrances used to be when I was selling them in the 80s and 90s. Now I know it's a lot of years later than that, and yes, prices go up, but a lot of prices of those fragrances I used to sell went down. Like the most expensive fragrances, some of them you can get them really inexpensively now. My point of this is, it got me thinking, what fragrances do I have that I think really, they're affordable, that are really distinct smelling. I really don't smell like everything else. You know, like the Gucci Blooms, for instance. They're so nice. They're all beautiful, but they're all kind of similar in a way. And, you know, Tom Ford's style, a lot of his fragrances are kind of similar. Even though they're not the same, they're kind of similar. And, you know, I'm sorry, I know a lot of you will probably disagree with me, and feel free to write down below if you do disagree. You know, I mean, it's fine with me, and you can voice your opinion if you disagree. But so I went through my collection, and I thought, what do I have that is affordable, that doesn't smell like everything else out there? And some of these are really familiar sounding, and you'll be like, oh, I can't believe that doesn't smell like anything else. But this is just my humble opinion. But my humble opinion, being a person who sold this stuff way back in the day, and I remember all of it because I was in that industry in a lot of different ways. I worked like I think 6 different jobs when I was in. I worked in men's fragrances, I worked in women's fragrances, I worked in Christian Dior makeup, cosmetics and fragrance. I worked for Guerlain, I worked for Austria de la Renta fragrances. So I went around to a lot of different stores. So I didn't just smell our stuff. I smelled all the stuff that all the stores had. And things have really changed. They've really changed. And a lot of that has to do with, what I understand is the technology to work with gourmands, the technology to create fragrances that contained gourmand accords or notes didn't really exist until the mid-90s. So that made sense to me because I thought, geez, everything smells like food now. Candy and food, so many fragrances do, and that's fine. But I was like, I wonder why they didn't do that back then. Well, that's why. So, I hope that you will enjoy these fragrances I'm going to tell you, because I think they all smell, I think that they don't really smell like anything else out there. There might be 1 or 2, but for the most part, I don't think so. Even today. So I'm going to start off with a really famous old one of my very favorite fragrances, one that I wore the heck out of in my 20s when I was working in cosmetics and fragrances, my teens and 20s when I was working in cosmetics and fragrances, and it is Worth by Reviens. Sorry, it is Reviens by Worth. I often get them mixed up. This fragrance came out in 1932. It's considered a floral aldehyde. The nose was Maurice Blanchette. And I want to tell you though that what other people thought it smelled like at Fragrantica, 136 people thought it smells like bluegrass. I have bluegrass. I love bluegrass. I used to sell bluegrass. I have the current bluegrass. I don't think this smells like bluegrass. I could see there's a certain kind of green. There's a green to it that might be equated similar to bluegrass, but no, it's not like bluegrass. Let's see. And then the rest of them, let's see. 17 people felt it was like Bobby's Party by Bobby Brown. And 6 people felt it was like Eau de Givenchy. Now let me tell you, I sold Eau de Givenchy back in the day, and it's discontinued now. And I wore Eau de Givenchy. I really enjoyed it. It was a really nice fragrance. This doesn't smell like it. No, it's another. You know, I see what they're getting at. They're considering this is a kind of a green top note, you know, a fragrance that reads like green top notes, but no, this is really sophisticated. It's very clean. A lot of people say it smells like soap. I agree. But when I wore this, I had a lot of bottles of this, and I was really busy in my 20s, my teens and 20s, and I wore this so much because I really wanted to make sure that I didn't smell bad, you know, because I was going to school and doing gigs and working, you know, full time. I'd go from thing to thing to thing, school to work to doing a gig at night, or you know, doing a singing gig or an acting thing, or you know, something, or you know, just like I said, classes. And I'd have long days, and I would keep the big one in my purse, and I would spray, I would refresh. So Reviens, it's a really beautiful classic fragrance, and this bottle is only from like a couple of years ago, and I think that the new bottles smells just like it did when I wore it way back then. I know a lot of people will disagree, but this is just my opinion, you know, so feel free to write below what you think of Reviens. But I love it, and it does not smell like anything else I've ever smelled. I feel like I'm sticking up for these fragrances, and you know. Okay, this next one, I have never smelled anything like it. It is very, very happy. It's very uplifting, and you can get it around, you know. It's like semi-popular, but I got this at the duty free. It is Ellis 360 Red. I've said before, this fragrance reminds me of just a really upbeat, happy person. And the first thing I get out of it, I don't think there's any in it, but it reminds me of apples. Now, I know maybe because of the color, but it's the smell. Just crisp, happy apples with big white flowers, like big, like Casablanca lilies, or like yellow floral. You know, that smell that they consider to be yellow floral. Back in the day, they didn't used to say that. It was white floral. They didn't distinguish. Not in the 6 jobs I had back then. But this is not like anything else I've ever smelled. Now there was no nose given for this fragrance, but 78 people felt it smelled like Clinique Happy. Now, I do really like Clinique Happy. I thought that's so funny because the first thing that comes to my mind when I smell this is the feeling of happiness. This, I feel like if you're in a bad mood, you can spray this on and your mood will be lifted. That is just the way I feel about this fantastic fragrance. And it's huge, by the way. It's got huge sillage and huge projection. I don't need much of this, and like, you'll still smell it. You'll smell it all around me, really. So, Ellis 360 Red. I know there's a lot of these Ellis 360s, but this is the only one that I really know. So, I mean, I wonder if the other ones are this good, but I really like this. People thought it smelled like Clinique Happy, 78 people. So I don't think it smells like Clinique Happy, but I think it smells happy. So that's my feeling about this, Ellis 360 Red. 15 people felt it was like Liz Claiborne Curve. I remember Liz Claiborne Curve. I never cared for it. I wouldn't say this smells anything like it whatsoever, but so yeah, check it out. Okay, now I got this one recently, and it is Swiss Army Victorinox First Snow. So this one, at first I really liked it because no, I think I still really like it. I just have a little trouble with the dry down. It's too aromatic or something for me. But the thing that's so unique about this that I don't remember ever smelling is there's a big eucalyptus blast when you first spray it. It's fresh and it's like icy, you know, just like they say, first snow. It's fresh and icy, but it doesn't smell like a winter fragrance, or what people would consider a winter fragrance. I'm still a bit confused by this fragrance because it's so complex, it's so unique, and what it dries down to is nothing like the first spray. It's a very warm, very woodsy type of dry down that I don't think I like it that much. But I think that this fragrance is so unique and it's so beautiful. And if you're looking for something unique and beautiful, and you don't want to smell like everybody else, I really think this is a good choice. Now, I did catch a vibe a second ago. It reminded me of something, and I couldn't figure out. It hasn't before. Try one more time. Something I used to love. But that's it. I mean, I cannot put my finger on what it is. So this one, it's considered a floral green. It came out in 2021. The nose is Anne Io, and Anne Io also created Jean Paul Gaultier Scandal Le Parfum and Lalique Pink Paradise. The top notes are eucalyptus and white tea. Okay, let's just... I'm not getting the white tea. I do smell a little vanilla, I think, in the top. Okay, that's what I think. Middle notes, orange blossom, vanilla. Okay, there it is. There's the vanilla. Orange blossom and vanilla. I love orange blossom, but I don't detect orange blossom. I don't. Let's see. The base notes, tonka bean. What the hell? Oh, tonka bean and white musk. Okay, so whatever the musk is that it dries down to, I don't love it. I don't love it. But man, I love the way this smells when you first spray it. It's very complex. It's definitely got your top, your middle, your base. It changes. So if you want to try something unique, First Snow, Victorinox. Okay, I got this one a while ago, and I plan on collecting lots more from this line because I'm smitten. It is Dalissime from Salvador Dali. This not only is the bottle fantastically exquisite, it's actually created after a painting that Dali created called Christmas. I know it doesn't say the box. I should show you the box, but I didn't put it out here, and now it's buried in a bunch of other boxes, so sorry about that. But you can see that it is from a Dali painting called Christmas. And it was created, this fragrance, Dalissime, was created for the 100th anniversary of Salvador Dali's wife, Gala's birth. This was dedicated to her. And this fragrance is so unique. It's not my favorite in my collection. It is one of the favorites because of this bottle, and because you know, it pays homage to Dali, who was so innovative and so different, and sold his wackiness. You know, I mean, he owned his uniqueness, and I think that's one of the things I love about him. So this fragrance, so This, this reminds me a lot of dried fruit, but yummy dried fruit, and heavy, heady flowers, not light flowers, not light floral flowers, warm, womanly, direct flowers. This is, I think this fragrance, my husband likes this, by the way. He thinks this is very sexy. I think it's a sexy fragrance, and I don't think it smells like anything else I smell at Sephora. Although I think, you know, if you like things like like Herrera Good Girl, I think, you know, you might like this, or Jimmy Choo I Want Choo. You know, it's kind of a similar vibe, but they do not smell alike. So this is another one that I recommend, an affordable fragrance that does not smell like everything else. Oh, and Dalissime, by the way, came out in 1994. It's considered a floral fruity. Mark Buxton was the nose. Yeah, Dalissime. I want to get, there's like so many more I want to get, but you know, I gotta pace it little by little by little. I get it. Okay, now you might be surprised for me to be talking about this one, saying this doesn't smell like anything else I've ever smelled. This fragrance came out in 1930, so you know, it's been around forever, long enough for other people to copy it. But I have never smelled anything that smells like it. And at one time it was considered, or at one time it was, and it was marketed, oops, I'll show you. And it was marketed as the most expensive fragrance in the world. And it was at the time. And they came out with it at the, Jean Patou, sorry, I'll tell you, it's Joy from Jean Patou. Jean Patou, his fashion business was struggling a little bit, as everyone's was at this era. And he looked around, he saw Chanel came out with its first fragrance, which was Chanel No. 5, and that was what kept Chanel afloat. When people were not affording those expensive clothes, they would buy their fragrance. So they came out with this, and instead of going the route, oh well, here's something inexpensive. No, he went the other way. This is the costliest fragrance in the world, and it just sold like wildfire. And one of the things about this fragrance is it contained, I don't remember exactly the number, but it's something like some number of thousands of jasmine flowers, and 26 dozen roses were in every bottle. And the thing about this fragrance, that it's a floral, it's just a floral, right? Wrong! This is not just a floral. This is a spring day when everything opens up and you almost feel like you're gonna get hay fever because everything is tickling your nose. And there's almost, I would say, a slight bit of that maybe indole. The indole you get when you bring in fresh flowers and they sit and then they're getting more towards done. There's just a little bit of that something there. This has that, but it doesn't take away from it. It makes it, it gives it more of a real flower, fresh bouquet vibe. So Joy by Jean Patou. Now this has been discontinued. The Jean Patou company was purchased by Louis Vuitton Moet Chandon, LVMH, who owns everything now. Galan, Dior, Sephora, Givenchy, I believe. I could go on and on, but I don't have my list in front of me. It's a long list. When they did, they discontinued this fragrance, Joy, and they came out with Dior Joy, which is also a really nice fragrance, but it ain't this. It's completely different. I'm not saying it's better or worse, but it ain't this. And this has been discontinued, but you can still get it. And I got this on fragrancebuy.ca, which is a Canadian company, and I think I got it for like less than $50. And so it's still there. You can still get it. You can get the eau de toilette, which is what this is, because I prefer eau de toilettes, or you can get eau de parfum, I believe. But it's still out there, and I'm sorry, all this year's worth of Millions of florals. No, nothing smells like this. Joy by Jean Patou. I feel like I'm defending these fragrances. Here's another one I got recently. I was thrilled to get. Never tried it. Bought it on a blind buy. It was affordable. And I really like it. And I have not smelled a single thing that smells like it. It is Bon Chic from Max Azria. BCBG Max Azria, right? Yeah. First of all, this little flower top is so beautiful. It looks cheap. It looks cheap in the container because you don't know what is that, but it's nice, heavy, like lucite or something, and it looks so pretty in and amongst my perfume collection. But the thing about this fragrance that is so unique, and okay, it doesn't have pineapple in it, but I get a really sweet, like a very pineapple-y type of, like a very pineapple type of read from it. It came out in 2012. It's considered a floral fruity. The nose is Steven Nilsson. By the way, Bon Chic means good style. 27 people thought this smelled like J-Lo's Live Luxe. 19 people felt it was like Ralph by Ralph Lauren. Oh, by the way, Steven Nilsson also created Madonna's Truth or Dare. That was the only one I saw that I thought you would be interested in. Yeah, so 27 people think this smells like Jennifer Lopez Live Luxe or Live Luxe. But I have never smelled anything like this. I smelled tons and tons of fruity florals. Not a one ever smelled like this one. So, yeah. Bon Chic. Okay, and I've got two more in the affordable yet unique niche. This one came out in 1976. It is considered a Chypre fragrance. It is Blazer from Anne Klein. This fragrance, now I feel like if this fragrance came out today, it would be it'd be marketed as gender neutral, shared, unisex, because it is very, it's not sweet at all. It's very dry. It's very green. It's considered a Chypre, right? I already said that. Now, 25 people on Fragrantica said it was like Halston. Halston's another one of those I used to wear a lot when I worked behind the counter in my teens and 20s. And I had bottles and bottles of Halston. I wore tons of it. No, the spirit is similar, but it does not smell like it at all. If I had to say it smelled like anything, I'd say there's something about it that's kind of like Chanel number 19, but it does not smell like Chanel number 19. But there's that, a person who wants to smell fresh and clean and aromatic that doesn't really want to smell floral. This is a really good choice. And that's probably one of the reasons why I feel like it's, you know, a good gender neutral fragrance. Now someone else said it smelled like Ralph Lauren Safari. That was another one I used to sell. No, not really. I mean, it has some elements, but Ralph Lauren Safari was more floral than this. So yeah, Blazer by Anne Klein. You know, it's just it's a really nice, like a fresh, clear-eyed person, you know, ready to go on an interview or ready to show up somewhere and do their best life's work. I don't know. I just feel like that's what this fragrance is. It's kind of no nonsense. It's crisp white. It's a crisp white linen shirt. Okay, yeah, so Blazer by Anne Klein. Okay, and this last one, I know it's going to be controversial. You're going to be like, that can't be true. Nothing smells like that. But I have never smelled anything that smells like this one, even though it's been around a long time, and it's made its mark on the world for sure. It is Giorgio Beverly Hills. Now, this fragrance doesn't smell like anything else. If you disagree, you can write it down below. But I have never in my life smelled anything that smelled like this. And I was there selling it back in the day, and this bottle is new. I think I got it like less than a year ago. And it still smells to me exactly like it used to. And this fragrance is a powerhouse. Did you know that supposedly this fragrance was banned from restaurants in the 80s because it was too strong? I mean, by today's standards, this is not too strong, and people complain that things have no projection. Visit Giorgio and be amazed. Came out in 1981. It's considered a floral. The nose was Bob Aliano, who also created Giorgio Red, which I really like too. That's another fragrance I'm going to get soon. I'm hoping I'll be getting that one soon. And also he created Hugo by Hugo Boss. Now 33 people said this reminded them of Designed by Paul Sebastian. Designed by Paul Sebastian is near and dear to my heart. It's another one I sold. It was my line when I sold it behind the counter. It's a beautiful, strong floral. It doesn't smell like Giorgio. No. But it's a strong floral, but no, it smells nothing like Giorgio. So this is a happy, sunny Southern California day. Shopping, going to lunch, taking a walk on the beach. It is, and they call it a yellow floral. It's just happy and sunny. It's a sunflower. It's the sunshine. It's a daiquiri. It's some happy, youthful drink like that, you know? It doesn't smell like a daiquiri. I just mean that's the feeling. It's every happy day. It's every happy, uplifting, forward-moving day this fragrance represents. Yeah. So if you don't want to smell like everyone else, believe it or not, buy this fragrance that everyone owned before. This fragrance doesn't smell like any other fragrance. So there's my collection of affordable fragrances that will allow you to smell not like everyone else, in my opinion. And I hope you like this video. Please subscribe. Dance, 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 dance. You know you're not moving around enough. You need to get up and move around a little bit. So do I. Ooh. Just make it up. Okay. I hope to see you next time. Bye.